Hey, brother Justin Peters. It's me, James. I'm sorry it took a long time for me to, make this video here. I've just been so busy, and that's really uncharacteristic of me. But I wanted to share something with you. Um, Back in 2018 was the year my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, and later on it developed. It went from breast cancer to um, cancer in the liver. And once it got to that point, my mother, she was 73 years of age. So she said she had a life well lived, you know. And my mother, she was like one of the most, yeah. She really didn't give us like many compliments growing up, um, but she did say she was proud of the man I turned out to be, and not some individual that I've allowed myself to become. And I took that to heart, and I'm very grateful, insanely grateful. But around that time, I was taking care of my mother, and she was really sick, and I was so directionless. I wanted a stronger relationship with the Lord, and I honestly I didn't know where to begin. And I remember my mother. She was so weak. She couldn't even she couldn't even muster up the energy to cry. And I'll never forget that day because I went back in my room and I pulled the door up, not all the way where I can hear her because she really couldn't speak. So she had this gold bell that she would ring and stuff like that. So I was just like, okay. Um, so, whenever she rang that bell, I come running, you know. Um, and so one night I broke down. Um, Seeing my mother like that, and it was nothing I can do but just watch her pretty much rot. Her body was just decaying, and it was nothing I can do. Was the hardest thing I've ever went through in my life, and I'm a cancer survivor myself. I had osteosarcoma at the age 15, and my 16th birthday was my first dose of chemotherapy. Um, what is osteosarcoma, which is pretty much bone cancer or cancer in the bone marrow. So I had to get a bone replacement in my right leg of the hip, femur, knee, and I have a rod that goes to the middle of my shin bone. I had to learn to walk again. I had to learn to do all of these things that us as people generally takes for granted. So, but yeah, I went back in my room. I lost it. I just broke down and started crying, and I tried my best to show that strength. So I just kind of had my hand over my mouth, and I was crying away, and I was just like, my mother, she's a great person. Why she's going through this? So one day I got on YouTube. Matter of fact, it was that same night. I got on YouTube and I've seen, your name, Justin Peters, and it was entitled Clouds Without Water. Pretty much saying that it looks like, it looks the part, you know. It looked like it has some type of nourishment, but nothing falls out from the clouds, leaving the ground dry and parched. So I've looked at that, And I've learned so much. I've learned so much. Um, when it came to tithing, when it came to sowing seed, because of you, Justin, I now know where the word Jehovah came from. I had no idea um, about these apostles, people going around saying they're apostles and all that type of stuff, and apostles, they've been long gone, so, and you broke it down on why there's no more apostles around. And at that point, I was just, it was almost like as if I had to relearn what I've known to that point. And just talking about the word Adonai, take the vowels from that and the consonants of Yahweh, YHWH. And I was intrigued, and I was just like, wow. And so I'm watching your videos, and it felt almost like as if something within me has awakened. Excuse me. And I didn't feel directionless anymore. I felt brand new, if that makes sense. I had some type of direction because of proper theology, and just wanted to share that with you. But yeah, you might don't know this, but you changed my life. And last year I got baptized, and that was one of the absolute greatest decisions I've ever made in my life. Um, Try not to cry over here. And I started listening to like more videos from people like John MacArthur, and um, I never really found Joel Osteen really as a pastor. Even when I was younger, he doesn't preach on sin, and that right there alone is enough to say, okay, I can't do this. So when I came across your page and you broke down the fundamentals and it lines up with scripture, you know, um, I just want to say thank you. Um, I'm very grateful. Oh, and also I've seen the film American Gospel, but I only seen the one that's on YouTube. It's maybe an hour long, and I watched that, and I actually cried watching that because so many people is starting to wake up. Little bit by little bit, people are starting to wake up. So I've seen the film. It was a beautiful, beautiful film. So I hope everything is going okay with you and your wife, Kathy. Um, I just wanted to share this with you. So again, I'm very grateful, Justin, and I just want to say thank you.